Howdy everyone, this is Miser Luke, and welcome to the 17th Battle of the Promethean Directive. Today we have the Sons of Sowales Eastern Liberation Army, which has been trawling about in Ruskommandan territory for a year now, finally getting engaged by SG14 from Ruskommando, as well as the force of Romans from the Light of the Sanctified, who are just doing a little bit of counterterrorism on the continent. With all of that established, let's see what happens. I'm going to try out some mountainous terrain on this one, see how well it goes, because this is actually up in the mountains of Sowales. But, yep. We've got a Maki doing a very fun maneuver over here. And hopefully these things won't crash into each other. And yeah, a bit of a correction from last time. These things have decorational... wherever that guy got to. Decorational rocket pods, but all they have is these HESH APS, which are somewhere around there. They might just be external, or they might be internal, but a little bit deco-hid. And they are already laying into this tank base right here. Fairly effectively. And the Ruskommandans brought the K variant of their RU-19 to this battle, which I think is a more specifically anti-surface role, but I'm not certain, because obviously it does have those rockets. But the Suns have rockets of their own, and they may have just taken one out, or at least dealt some damage. These are the really big missiles from the long trucks. I don't think they're I was going to say, I don't think they're going to be a threat, but this guy looks like he is about to hit, and that's probably going to total that plane. Or they'll just fly past each other and be funny. I guess that's luck for you. And I know a lot of those planes are deco hit as well. I think the wings are at least partially fake beyond the angle change. And then I'll check the VC now, see if there's any critical commentary. This will just be one where we just watch it. Yep, those Makis doing their part, laying into these guys with HESH. I assume they'll be able to do a lot more damage than it looks like they're doing on the outside, and maybe eventually get these guys AI dead sooner than you would expect. And these guys are finally in the proper Light of the Sanctified livery, now that we've got the map provided by Anemone. Still doesn't have all the factions on it. I think we're missing at least the Cordic Autonomous Empire and a few others. But we do have the Light of the Sanctified. Don't have the Suns, but they are already painted with paint scheme. Yep, it's a big help. I've got everyone spawned down the Light of the Sanctified team this time, including the Ruskommandan planes, just to make sure that they don't try and friendly fire. I don't actually personally know if it's possible to set up allies like in the campaign designer, and they won't actually fight each other. But even if you could, that'd be a lot of effort to keep it up to date, because that may change between battles, what side is supposed to be allied. But to get a health check, the tank bases are taking a lot of damage. Whereas the RU-19s are also taking a lot of damage, probably from those rockets. But the Makis are dodgy enough to still be doing fine. And then one suspicious truck, it looks like, has been destroyed. One is still left at about full health. But I'm guessing all these RU-19Ks from Ruskommando are going to get destroyed. It'll be left to the Makis to clean everything up. I don't know how much of these were flipped by terrain or just by general damage or other silliness. Interesting, these guys don't follow the convention of red on port port and green on starboard. Although I'd probably, just because it wouldn't make sense to put a red light on a red plane already. So you swap that one out for turquoise. If you just look at the wingtip there. Makes for a very useful identification of what way ships are moving at night. Same with planes. And this is actually one of the jet aircraft from the Sons of Sowales that they acquired somewhere. That's like the best use of an intake I've seen. That's really good. I thought it was actually going to be missile launcher, but no, the missile launcher's below it, and that's just like an intake cover. That's pretty cool. I don't know how much or if these guys are spin clipped or not, but they look pretty decent and they seem to function well for their size. I think they're doing a lot of the damage to the Ruskommandan planes with these missiles here, which are probably more likely to hit than the really big missiles that the suspicious trucks were firing. Speaking of missiles, let's see where this one finds its home. It'll be interesting to see where the Ruskommando Historian War goes next after this turn. Because there's still a lot of forces deployed, but no one's super active on the border after that cleanup last battle. But there are plenty of forces to be deployed. Ruskommando holds the current record for most different fleets deployed at I think 18. Historia is pretty close at like 12 or 14 or something. And the Sanctified also have quite a few, but they're largely drones. Same with Divini, but a lot of those are transports. Let's go get a map overview. We've got the 3 Maquis, and then only 3 out of the 5 planes are left from Ruskommando, and this one's about to be toast. And these 2 are also damaged. Whereas the Sons of Sowales have taken a lot of damage. They've still got quite a few vehicles, but all the big ones are very heavily damaged. And it's only a matter of time before the Maquis or the RU-19s take them out. They're definitely not optimized for combat performance with how many guns they've got like on the sides in these tiny casemate like sponsons. They do look really cool though, and I do like the design of putting a lot more gun out the back, which can then be mostly protected by the other armor. But this guy's already lost his turret or rangefinder that's on top, and a lot of the side weapons look damaged, with a huge hole in the side there too. And the terror tractors I think are almost all still active. Maybe a couple have been destroyed or damaged, but that's just because they're not taking as much attention from the Maquis. And I don't actually know if they're Maquis or Maquis or Maki, I don't know. But in this universe, I am God, so they follow my pronunciation. Alright, I'll leave the camera here and check chat for a minute. Maki. Good to know. Yeah, the Suns are doing fairly well just because they're not facing anything with a lot of damage per second. Is at least my thoughts on it. Just a lot of missiles flying off to locations unknown. I'm guessing a lot of these are actually just not optimized for anti-air. You can see they've got pretty decent turning arcs. But they do tend to look more cinematic, the slower turning missiles, even if they're going to be less effective. Now this guy's pretty obviously out of control. This guy, I'm honestly surprised no one's bothered to finish him off yet. Maybe just not a good angle to get fired on. Or these guys are set to prefer aircraft. Although with how land works, they may all be classified as aircraft according to their target prio. Looks like the last tank base is about to go down. And then at that point it'll just be pretty easy mop up on the terror tractors, and then eventually the other 4 planes too. All Mach-E's are 99 or 100. Tank base down to 63, a few of the tractors are damaged. And then just 2 of the Ruskommando planes are left. I think this is the one that's circling, and then this is the one that's grounded. The grounded one may just be class destroyed because it's at 58 health. And obviously it's on the ground, which is not a very healthy place for jets to be. See, has this guy lost? Yeah, he has lost his AI. There we go. Now it's just clean up on the tractors. And eventually the planes too, but I assume they'll be last on the target priority. Let's go ahead and hitch a ride on a Mach-E. They're a reasonably dodgy little craft, but I don't mind it just because they keep it close range. Like if you have someone doing this out at like 2 kilometers, you're never going to hit that. But at this range, it's fairly reasonable. Like you could hit it with a good missile or a fast enough cannon. And I do like a good brawling aircraft. Unfortunately, we're in degraded mode, so we can't actually see the tracers that this guy's putting out. But clearly those guys are taking damage. Let's go ahead and get the HUD off as well. This thing's still being a glorified missile magnet. And I'm guessing it'll just continue to do that till the end of the match. I don't think any of these are going to hit it. Not with the circles it's pulling off. Oh yeah, and I bet this guy's attracting all the missiles that the other one would otherwise take. And that might also be out of range too. I'm not certain. Oh, missed. It really is hard to lock onto stuff with shift caps lock without pausing. Can I do it? Especially not fast moving stuff. Nope. These Hesh rounds are pretty effective. I was worried this fight might take a long time just because these are all pretty small craft, but they're doing a pretty good bit of work. And this too is a pretty well-determined fight. I could end it early if I wanted to, because I don't think the Terra Tractors or the Sons of Sowales bogies are going to have any chance here. It looks like all 3 out of the 4 bogies are left. And then what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Terra Tractors out of 10. Ooh, that was a pretty good hit, and I think that plane did finally get taken down. Now there's just the one Ruskommandan aircraft, and I suspect it'll get taken out by rockets before the end of this battle, but I'm not certain. Or by this big gun here if this thing can manage to struggle its way up the hill. Push! I see more people in the chat trying to fund terrorism. Honestly, I feel like a full, like, half of the quotes in the quote channel are going to be like, hey, how do I fund the Sons of Sowales? Because that is something that at least, I want to say probably at least a quarter of the factions have tried in one way or another. To negotiate, or to fund, or to do other shenanigans with the Sons. And yep, looks like that down plane did get taken out in the end. Now it's just, oh nope, it's still there. Still sitting there at 58%. Oh, that's actually cool that these things leave shadows. I didn't realize they did that. I guess I watched too many naval battles, not enough land ones. But still 3 Maquis on pretty good health, even if they have taken some more damage. Looks like, oh, 96. This one's taken decent damage, 79, and then 98. I guess some of the missiles can hit these guys now that the big bait plane got taken out. So maybe I shouldn't write the Suns off too quickly, but I still think they're going to lose this. And I think this is the last publicly visible Sons of Sowales force left on the map. There is a headquarters that the parties can attempt to locate, which will finally represent the end of the Sons of Sowales plot. But once it's been located and destroyed, then they're kind of done for. But for now, they've still got legs, and more fleets may spawn from them. And more events may happen. Ooh, this guy got set on fire. Didn't last long, though. Another tractor getting cleaned up. I guess the Maquis are pretty well alternating between the air and the ground targets. Just looks like 2 planes and 2 tractors left for the Suns against the 3 Maquis and 1 downed aircraft. I'll probably count that plane as plane killed, pilot survived. Just because of, yeah, how it crashed. It's basically dead, only barely alive. And that'll make it a clean wipe for that Air Force, which is easier for me to work with on the spreadsheet. Okay, just 2 of these jets left, and this one is, or make it 3 of these jets left, and this one's not looking so hot. Only a few seconds before he finds a death made of high explosive squash heads. Oh. Call me a liar, I guess. I don't know what's up with this guy, if it's some kind of weird AI settings that stop it from going crazy for if it gets damaged. I don't know. But they shouldn't have much time left. Those cannons are pretty accurate. I say as they mostly miss, but they stay close enough that they'll manage to hit eventually. It would be really funny if I could say that all of the funding for the Sons of Sowales came from players, but it tragically would not be true. Maybe in Season 2 we'll make funding terrorists a more well-built-in option, given how much people seem to like it in this summer so far. And I mean, if people that would ordinarily want to play as a player want to just like play as a quote-unquote non-player character, even though they are obviously a player, then I'm happy to help support that. That's kind of what the Suns and the other pirates are. Doing so just means that you get to instead of working for your own interests, you work for the interests of the overall world's plot. But you don't need to play by the rules for materials and technology. So if you're less a spreadsheet person, more just like building and writing, then that's the move for you. Ah. He's taking some damage, but still flying pretty smoothly. Ooh, one of the Makis did get taken out. Interesting. I guess I finally got hit by enough of the missiles. And then this guy also took another 1% of damage. Must have been like a stray missile. Looks like this guy's buddy is taking a lot of fire. I don't know how much those are landing though. Any further questions while we're just sitting here watching this happen? The ghost of Sowales. Yeah. When this war began, it was said that the historians had the second strongest army in Sowales. Now it's clear that they don't even have the second strongest army in the enemy territory, or something like that. I guess I should have said that for Ruskommando, not Historia. Ooh, actually, that's a really cool use of the texture changing. That's a APS like fire, or APS laser targeter changed to look like glass for the cockpit. That is cool. The really sad thing about me playing From the Depths recently is that I haven't actually played to do my own designing after they added the ability to swap textures with decorations. All I've been doing is the Directive. It's so tragic. Looking at it again now. One of the bogies taking a little bit more damage, I think. Same with the Makis. If this goes on too much longer, I can just call it a draw and let both sides withdraw. But I'd prefer to avoid that. Kind of want to get the map cleaned up. If any of the involved parties want to issue extra orders, feel free. As I've been spectating this battle, one other person has DM'd me offering to fund the Sons of Sowales. This is what I have to deal with. Everyone wants to be the CIA and fund terrorists. Hope this guy's... Whatever happens to these guys where they stop wanting to fly has happened to this one. Oh, and I think the other one got taken out too, so... There we go. LTS finally finishing things off. Even if they take a little while to do it. I feel like every third Maki should just have a conventional damage weapon instead of only Hesh. Although, I mean, I'm seeing two different kinds of tracers. I don't know if those are distinct shell types or just different colors. Ooh, this guy's having a good time. Okay, with that, everyone's been defeated from the Sun side, and here's all that's left. I'll go ahead and update the spreadsheets, and I'll get to the next battle shortly.